Assalamualaikum and a very good day to Benda Mahanari. I am Muhammad Faiz Izzat from KB 1115A together with my friends. So, we'll present about impact of COVID-19 on manufacturing. We'll cover the introduction. Secondly, why this situation happens, also the effect of the problem, and lastly, the conclusion.
My name is Nisa and I will start the presentation with an introduction to the impact of COVID-19 on manufacturing. COVID-19 has become a tool for the country's economy, especially in heavy industry or make. Manufacturing is an important sector as it helps weaken people dependence on agricultural income by providing work at secondary and tertiary industry. Due to the uncertainty arising from a large number of COVID-19 cases and movement restriction, the country's industry is expected to come under pressure in the second half of 2021 H221. I will pass presentation to Farhan.
Thank you, Nisa. So I will present about why this situation happened. Number one is rise in unemployment due to the outbreak of COVID-19. Manufacturing production has been lowered as a result of new normalcy and standard operating procedures to follow. As a result, they do not require as much labor to keep the company functioning. Therefore, method for saving money is to reduce the number of employees. Graduates were also unable to find employment in this firm since most manufacturers were unable to pay their salaries. Next is lack of skills. To transition toward higher value, more complex product necessitate the hiring of talented, creative, and innovative employees with technology skills to continuously improve products and processes. Manufacturers frequently struggle to discover individuals who can help them innovate and enhance production in this aspect. The latest method, which is online learning or online skill, has been applied due to COVID-19. This has forced some manufacturing institutes to change the way they operate. Not only that, manufacturing institutes will exceed more theory rather than skills. Therefore, postgraduates of manufacturing institute will experience problems. For instance, they will face some problems during their practical work due to lack of skills. Alright, I will pass this presentation to Afika Musfira.
Thank you, Farhan. Next, we will look into the lack of innovation. Research and development entail a high level of risk and a significant investment in machinery and testing equipment. For example, most of manufacturers did not afford to do so since this day they need to focus their budget on providing the worker with personal protective equipment, and they also need to bear the cost of medical treatment if their employees are affected by COVID-19 outbreak. Shortage of budget has led them to the lack of innovation. Next is shortage of input. The greatest difficulty for manufacturing industry has been the drop in demand. No demand, no input. Not only the manufacturer, the society also affected by the outbreak of COVID-19. Because of that, the demand for electronics material or raw material has been decreased. Some factories suffered huge losses because the factories could not operate during the time of COVID-19 since the demand from customer has been lowered. Next, I will pass this presentation to Faiz.
Thank you, Afika, for the lovely presentation. So, I will cover the effect of the problem, which is the GDP of the country's collapse. In simple language, GDP is the monetary value of all finished goods and services produced in a country over some time. Due to COVID-19 hitting the country, many businesses could not operate, including some businesses that had to close down. For example, some manufacturers have to reduce demand for the production of goods, resulting in low profits or no profit at all. Did you know that the manufacturing sector is very important because it contributes to the country's GDP? Therefore, the value of the currency will fall if there is no contribution from the manufacturing sector. The next effect is the retrenchment of employees. Basically, retrenchment is when an employer fires an employee because the employee's excess labor or pay does not match the company's performance. This happened when manufacturers failed to make a profit to maintain their business when the country was experiencing a COVID-19 pandemic. As a result, they had to fire many of their employees to reduce spending on the business. Therefore, manufacturers have to make these drastic decisions in their interest to keep their business operating. Next, I pass the presentation to Nona Dira.
Thank you, Faiz. Hi, I'm Nona Dira, and now I'm going to talk about the next point of the content too, which is decreasing in consumer purchasing power and the economic downturn. First is decreasing in consumer purchasing power. The purchasing power is defined as the quantity of goods or services that one unit of money can buy. Manufacturing sector are one of the most sectors that provided job opportunities for people in the country. When manufacturing sector are under pressure due to the COVID-19 impact, retrenchment, unemployment, and lack of job opportunities occur. For example, when the first lockdown happened in Malaysia on early May, manufacturing business cannot run or operate their business as usual. There were also some manufacturers and businesses that had to shut down their business completely because of the pandemic. When people in the country did not have any job, they cannot earn income or profit to go through their daily life, which is they cannot buy things for themselves. This is why the decreasing in consumer purchasing power happens. Next is the last point of the content too, which is economic downturn. Economic downturn is a general slowdown in economic activity over a sustained period of time. As we know that the manufacturing sector provides the biggest contribution in boosting the level of economic growth in the country. The sharp slowdown in manufacturing sector due to the pandemic has had a severe economic impact, such as shrinking the country's currency. This caused manufacturing sector to be under pressure as they cannot gain any profit to keep sustained in the industry. This matter can lead into the economic downturn because manufacturing sector is one of the biggest contribution towards the economic growth of the countries. That's all for me. Next, I will pass this presentation to Shazwani.
Thank you, Nadi. So I will present about the conclusion. In conclusion, the scale of this disruption has also affected business, and the manufacturing sector is no exception. For example, as we can see what is happening today when the country is affected by the COVID-19 pandemic, manufacturing, which is the biggest contribution of the country, have affected by the COVID-19, which lead to GDP of the country collapse, retrenchment of employees, decreasing in consumer purchasing power, economic downturn. Undeniably, these are the biggest challenges business are facing. The manufacturing industry is an important sector because it helps to boost country economic growth.